Well, welcome to this week's edition of Bolton In. All thanks to Palmerbet, of course. It's great to be back. We had a couple of weeks off, Ads, and it is good to be back, mate. And we're all geared up for a massive winter carnival, of course, up in Queensland. Generally, some really competitive racing and generally wet tracks, which I think we're going to find this weekend. As I say, a good evening to you, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good to be back with you, Matty. The OG standing still. Shane left us. Laura's left us for just this week, we'll add. But it's good to be with you, mate. And yeah, isn't it funny how quick we just transition? We obviously, the last time we spoke, we were racing in Sydney. Since then, we've seen the Quokka over west, and now we head straight back to Queensland. We see some of those big names running, and we already saw some pretty impressive results last week. So looking forward to the carnival. Love the Queensland carnival, and hopefully we can have a little bit of success there as well.
Oh, well, in the past, I know yourself and Shane Anderson 12 months before.
Shane was Queensland.
He was Queensland, mate. He should have changed his
Mr.
name.
Queensland.
Absolutely. Hey, let's recap the Ken Russell Memorial last week. And, Ads, we were just speaking about it off air, but a horse by the name of Brisbane, one of my favourite ever jockeys. What a superstar he was. And we might have seen a superstar horse unleashed here. A huge victory. The Peter Snowden 2-year-old, mate. You could not get any more impressive than that.
Well, I'll tell you, you didn't need Brisbane to ride it. I could have ridden this horse the way it won and kept it at my weight as well. It was just a demolition job. I was watching the replay just before we did the show again, and you watch it cruising out and you go, is this thing going really easy or is it about to stop? And obviously I knew the result. I knew it was going to keep going. And then all of a sudden you just see J-Mac just click it, and it puts 5 lengths on them as they corner for home. And then he's sitting up, he's looking back. This thing's run like winks in the end. So very, very impressive. Not quite sure what it's beat. I mean, it's still a Group 3, so you know there's something there, and the form prior to that is pretty good as well. But I'd like to see this horse as it does step up, and maybe in different conditions as well. It was still pretty wet out there. So impressive, ticked all the boxes, asked all the questions. When J-Mac's on, you know it's clearly a good horse, but one to definitely keep an eye on as we move forward.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Any other horses in the beaten brigade that you think we should be following, Ads?
To be honest, I didn't look at anything else, Matty. This thing just caught the eye so much. It was one, sometimes you see something flashing home late. There wasn't really anything in that. For mine, it was just let's sit back, look at Beam and full focus. I want to see these horses again, their next start, yeah.
Love it, mate. Hey, what about the Holland Stakes? What'd you make of that, mate?
Well, the one thing I made of it is that Blake Shin should be the only person that the Antino owners ever want on. Remember the ride in the Toorak, how much we talked about it? Our group message was going off when he took off around him, caught him napping and won. And then obviously he's ridden this horse a couple of times between. But again, I just loved his mid-race move here in wet conditions to get past. And we know that Antino can hold those conditions really well and get through it. And obviously having that trip to Hong Kong as well, this horse has come back in really good form. So nice win. I thought Fork in the Park had every possible opportunity. And the horse, I was thinking about it when I was watching again. I was like, this horse is going to suck me in again. Kovalika running on strongly for third, as Kovalika likes to do. It must be about 700 days since that horse has won. I've probably tipped it 15.
Yeah, I thought there was a couple of other horses in behind that obviously a little bit disappointing, but gee whiz, the rain calm. It was a shocking track in the end, wasn't it? Visibility was poor. So I think, happy to put a line through a couple of those runs and just forget about them, and hopefully the horses bounce back in the coming weeks, I think, mate.
Yeah, I think it's a good point that you bring up. And for those betting in these type of conditions as well, I think the ones that get through it really well, you highlight and you go, all right, well, if it rains again, I remember this. But the ones that you just know are good horses and maybe didn't, you just got to forgive. And it's hard sometimes when you got your money on it. But in those type of conditions, when it comes late and it turns so quickly, forgiveness is the key when doing some of the form.
Yeah, it was a great ride by Blakey Shin, that is for sure. Hey, listen, let's turn our attention to this weekend. It's only the one, Group 1, which is the Doomben 10,000 race 8 over the 1,200 metres, and the Palmerbet market Ads. Overpass, $4.40 for Bjorn Baker, of course, went over. Failed just in the Quokka again, looking to make it 3 Quokkas in a row. Sunshine in Paris at $4.60. Swartz at $6.50. Benedetta $7. Marzu $12. Jetterbill $14, Hidden Well $17, Golden Mile $21, and Rothfire $31. Couple of question marks in the horses that are up at the top of the betting for mine. In the heavy conditions, rain expected over the next couple of days as well, Ad. So we're expecting the track to be heavy. I've got a real question mark on Overpass in the heavy conditions.
Yeah, I've got more than a question. I've got a line through it when it's heavy. So yeah. I'm with you there. I mean, if this is a good 4, I'm looking at Overpass, I'm looking at Swartz, I'm looking at Sunshine in Paris. They're my 3. if it's a heavy 8, which at the time of recording, the track's a heavy 8, and then I just looked at the forecast before, and Friday is meant to be a lot of rain again. I think, as you said, you put a line through Overpass. I think Swartz can handle it, and I think Sunshine in Paris is a good enough horse to run well. But then we've got to really start analysing, well, are there any horses that do their best work in the heavy conditions? And there's one that obviously jumps off the page, and that's the winner 3 years ago, being Marzu. 8 starts on a heavy track for 5 wins, a second and a third. Comes into this race in really good form as well. Obviously winning last start, that was on a soft 5 as well. So if it is those wet, tough conditions, I remember being at Randwick one day, flying in from America for Fandle over here and watching Marzu just swim through it, put the flippers on and the snorkel, and off it went. So you can have faith in it. And as I said, I don't have Marzu probably in the best 4 or 5 horses at the moment in the race, but with the conditions and coming in off that good form, off that nice performance last start, I'll be putting it on top going into this race as long as that rain is there. My value bet's going to be Jettaville. I thought it was a really good run last time. Look, ran second, got back, was about 11 of 16 as they cornered for home, and still ran on really nicely. Now, if there's not as much rain as we're thinking, this horse has had 6 runs on a soft track for 3 wins and 2 seconds, on a heavy 2 starts for a second and a third. And we just saw the way this horse was able to take ground off the leaders last time. Barrier 3, I'd like to see them just be a little bit more positive. Again, obviously, conditions are going to play a part. Maybe they're fanning out wide. You don't want to be on the inside. We're going to have to see for all of this. But if possible, I think if Jettaville can be sort of 7th or 8th as they corner for home, there's going to be good speed in this race. We've seen all the leaders that want to be in it. I think it can get home and run a really nice race at a nice price at the moment as well.
Mate, it's so funny. Good mind sink a lot. They say Jettaville is my value bet in the race as well for the exactly what you said. I think it is a horse that is going to get through and thrive in these conditions, and I'm working off the fact that it's going to be a heavy track up there on the weekend. There's just plenty of rain around, and there has been for the last kind of 3 or 4 weeks, to be honest. So, yeah, that is the way I'm going for the value play. But I'm going with Swartz, untried on the heavy. But it's soft track form. It's 2 from 3 by Zoostar. I just reckon this horse will get through the conditions. And if it happens to be a drying track and we think that the track won't get an upgrade, well, then I think that's even going to be a bigger tick for Swartz. This horse was super impressive. Had a couple of jump outs in between, which I like. So just to keep that residual fitness into this horse. I just think ticks a lot of boxes, and I thought last preparation, or this preparation, to be honest, this horse has really taken the next step. So I'm happy to be playing around Swartz at about that kind of $6.50, $7 mark. You're still getting a nice each way price. So Swartz on top, and my value runner, I'm exactly the same as you, mate. Jettaville, it's going to get back. It'll be charging, and it does like the conditions. It loves the jockey. 6 from 9 with that. Brad Widdop in the saddle. Tyler Skiller in the saddle, I should say. So, yeah, ticks a lot of boxes there, and has been crunched too, Jettaville, a little bit in markets over the last couple of hours as well, Ads.
And doesn't know how to run a bad race. I mean, 21 starts, 15 top 2 finishes. You'd love those horses just when they step out. You know what you're going to get every single time.
Yeah, I agree, mate. And just on that, I reckon it's 14s into 10s after markets opening.
Hello.
So,
your money.
There's a little bit of a go, that is for sure. Hey, listen, mate, only the one Group 1. Where else are we heading around the country to find a winner this weekend? You are the king of Perth, and I have to apologise. I'm kind of in the sun. The sun's in an awkward spot today. You can hardly see me. I do apologise to have.
Well, we can see you when you come close like that. You're still as good looking as ever, Matty. So we're lucky with that. Well, the last time we did the show, we were obviously at Ascot, and we actually had a pretty good run there. We moved to Belmont Park now, so hoping that we can continue that. At the moment, prices aren't out. Races have only just been finalised at the time of recording here. Race 4, number 3, I'm going with Famous Dane. Now, William Pike will take the ride here. He rode Audio Boy last start. Audio Boy went really well, and then he jumps back on to get on Famous Dane, who's ridden recently. So race 4, number 3 at Belmont Park, I think will be very hard to beat. And then race 5, number 5, Western Power, was beaten by a trio 2 starts ago. William Pike dived at the line and just beat this horse. 2 starts now ago, they meet again, and I just think Western Power is going to be able to get the benefit of it. I think they'll ride it just a little bit different, maybe give this horse something to catch and let it kick away, and I think Western Power can win it. So race 4, number 3 is my better of the 2, and then race 5, number 5 at Belmont Park.
I love it, mate. King of the West. And just for the people that don't understand, so racing in Perth, Ads, so it's still 6 months. They go 6 months on, 6 months off. Is that how it works still?
Yeah, it's basically pretty similar to that time frame. Obviously, Ascot's the premier track. It probably gets a little bit more. And then Belmont will support with the real heavy winter months, sort of those 3 months. And then you'll just see every now and then, you'll see a Wednesday thrown in and a Saturday thrown in just to give Ascot a bit of a retrieve. But Belmont Park, the facilities are so outdated, it's ridiculous, but the track can really, really handle the rain. And it's always nice when the footy's on across the road as well. It's a nice little setup there.
Absolutely brilliant, mate. You are the king of the West, that is for sure. I'm sticking to Doomben. I'm sticking to the fact that I think the track's going to be heavy ads. And I've gone race 9, number 14, Belle de Tel. Chris Waller, J-Mac combining here. This horse is by Zed. We know that Zed's absolutely flourishing the ground. Hasn't had a go on the heavy, but he's 1 from 1 on the soft track. Only lightly raced. I reckon this horse got plenty of upside. Ticks a lot of boxes, 55 kilos. I reckon that it is going to be a big chance to close out the day at Doomben on Saturday. So race 9, number 14, Belle de Tel is my best play around the country. Hey, listen, only the one Group 1. It is great to be back, mate. Hopefully next week the sun's not here and I can actually see you. There it is. I can see
there you go.
Mattress in the background. There we go. I apologise, but download that Palmer Bet app and have a bit of fun yourself. And as we always say, always think about what you're really gambling with. That is the key messaging, that is for sure. Hey, mate, you have a wonderful weekend, buddy, and I look forward to catching up with you and hopefully tipping a few winners over the coming weeks, mate, throughout this winter carnival up in Queensland.
Thanks, mate. Great to be back with you. Felt like a long couple of weeks, but looking forward to seeing your face next week. And as you said, hopefully we're coming back with some nice winners.
It's like I'm under the cover of darkness here. Have a look at it. I think it's you can't believe it's.
Might need to do a poll. Do you want him to be in the dark or in the sun? And I will leave it to them. I'm not saying anything.
I think they want it in the dark. That is for sure. But it's May and Waterville's still got sun. I can't believe
it. Look at it.
Hey, listen, mate, great to catch up. We'll talk next week. Happy punting to our followers, mate, and look forward to the next couple of weeks, buddy.
Yeah, mate. Good luck, everyone.
What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.